Alright, so I got the old famous oil cooler housing for the famous 3.6 liter in the 2018 Pacifica. Alright, we'll take off our engine cover here. Ah, good way to start the job. Good way to start the job. Let's just drop some stuff. I don't think I've put one of these oil coolers on something this new yet. 2018. Sure it's going to be about the same. Okay, let's take off our air box here. Got a little clip holding the wires to the intake air temperature sensor there. Take that off there. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a little different from the older models. So, got a few little things different that's going to be new to me. Pop that hose off there, flip it up out of the way. Vacuum line going to the intake and over to the brake booster. Okay, the red tab just pops up and it slides off on that one. Take our oil cap off there. I'm going to take off this air dam here. Looks like this just pops up out of it. Yep. Unplug that. Clip off a pipe here. Okay, get that up out of the way. Another little wiring harness clip here. Another plastic pipe going from the intake to the valve cover. I think I need to pull it off of the valve cover first. And then it'll slide off. There we go. Here for the front of the intake, two of them. And hopefully I can just take out these two tins and then take my bolts off, my 8s from the intake, and just slide it out towards the back. Hopefully I don't have to get down in there to the bottom of the brackets. Your hose clamp pliers, old blue points. Alright, clamps off there. Break this hose loose a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to take out my 8s up here on top, the intake. Okay, I need to unplug my throttle body. Okay. Alright, something. I feel like there's going to be another bracket bolt down in there somewhere around the throttle body, probably. Yep, I think I see it. Yep. Okay, 10mm. Alright, now let's see what it's like. What? There we go. Break out my little snap-on 1/4-inch swivel I bought the other day. Another wire here on the stud. Oh, what the heck? That's, oh my goodness. Alright. So here's what was fighting me. Pain in the butt. Because if you have to take off that bracket, that whole bracket, I don't even know where that goes down in there. Okay, maybe I just had one more 10 to take out that bracket. And then that bracket would have slid up and plug our injectors. Now, our fuel line, get a rag to put under it. And a pick, L-shaped pick, to push up from the bottom. Stinky gas. Got a couple wiring clip to the lower intake to unplug. Alright, let me take out these 8s. Going around. I don't think they got me. I don't think they got me intake.
There's 18 that could probably be reused, but that's not something I want to go back and.
Okay, well that's on me. I did not put intake gaskets in my list of parts, so that was my bad. So now I gotta wait on them. But I gotta do front brakes service on it too, so I will do that while I'm waiting on the gaskets. Oh, I got two more. Two more 8s. I did not drain the coolant. let me get some napkins stuck down in these hoses so nothing falls down in their heads. How many of you are sick and tired of fighting with radiator drain cockpit? That you can't get your hand up in there, you can't get pliers up in there. So come over to your old toolbox, just grab you a socket, put that socket in a vise, and cut some slots in it. Break those two little pieces out, pull that sucker off a little bit. Now you have a homemade socket that will go right over your cockpit drain to help you get loosened up and tightened back up. Okay, I drained my coolant last night before I left, and man, I fought 10 minutes at least, maybe more, getting the coolant drained from the drain cockpit. Just couldn't get it. It was tight, couldn't get it out of there. So I just took an old socket and cut some slots in it because it's still tight. I tried to get my hand up in there and tighten it up. It's still tight, so I just cut some slots in a socket. Gonna see how that does. Now I did order this actual tool off of Amazon. It was a 2-pack and it was $20. And then as soon as I hit buy, then it showed me the single one that I actually wanted for $8.99 or something. I was gonna cancel the order and just get the $8 one, but I just went ahead and left it as is. The other one might come in handy for a certain type of drain cockpit or something, but that works just fine right there. Worked perfect. So there's your way to make yourself your own tool. And always spray a little bit of PB Blast or WD-40 around your cockpit O-ring. That way it goes in good and you don't rip the O-ring. All right, now I'm going to do the brakes while I'm waiting on the intake gaskets. And I bought these off of Amazon also. I bought a couple sets off of the truck. The ones off the truck, it is wider in here, so they are a little nicer, but these work in most applications. So my coworker just came back here and asked for a 12 millimeter for this Jeep he's doing brakes or something on it, and because he said his 10 wouldn't fit. So I gave him the 12. What's wrong?
I need 12.
Huh?
12.
You took the 12 with you. That's a 12 in your hand. It wouldn't work?
No.
What's wrong with it?
It's too small.
Oh, it's too small?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to use this one. What number is this?
All right, we'll try that one out.
Thank you.
I was thinking it was an 11, but he said even the 12 was too small. So we'll see. Did it work? Why not? I thought you said the 12 was too big. Or too small. I thought you said it was too small.
It's small, but it
You still need a bigger one? Well, I guess maybe I was wrong on what I was thinking he was needing. Let's see what he's doing. Yeah, that's 11. He's silly. He's plumb silly. What boat you trying to get out, bro?
the upper right here.
Where at?
This one.
Where? Okay. That ain't gonna fit either.
Yeah. What number is that? I need more smaller.
Yeah, you need smaller.
Which one is?
That's junk, bro. Hey, bro, come here. Come here. I knew what you needed, bro. It's a special. It's an 11. They don't usually come in the sets.
Oh, okay.
You gotta buy it separate.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I gave him the 11. I just thought I'd mess with him a little bit. Gotta have fun. All right. Back to the task at hand. All right, well, I was going to show you the difference in size of them from the Amazon and off the truck. But apparently I've lost both the ones I got off the truck. So I've lost 2 complete sets from off the truck. But those off of Amazon, I think, come in an 8-pack. So I've still got quite a few of them left. But as you can see, they work good. Just with some calipers, I have had them not fit in there very good on some of the bigger calipers. Okay, I've got my new clips in, my brake pads in here, slide pins lubed up. Just put the caliper bracket back on. Take that off of your spring so you don't leave it on there. All right, one side down, one to go. Okay, my gaskets came in. For my intake, so back to the task at hand. Take off our clamp here for our coolant line going to the oil cooler housing. My angle pick, get down in there and break it loose. Okay. Looks like we have something securing it to the block. There we go. Pop it up out of there. Now it should slide right off. Pull that up out of the way where I can see my clip for my oil pressure sensor. Nope, no safety lock. So you should just push in and pull off. There we go. Alright. So that should be the only 2 things you have to unhook. And then you can take out your E8s.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
And it should pop right up out of there. All right. Oil pressure sensor socket. Break it loose and spin her out. I'm gonna get some Teflon to put on that. The old Permatex with PTFE, part number 80632. Just a little extra protection there. Get that pointing up for the next person that has to deal with it. Now we have to clean out all that oil in there. Okay, while that's soaking in them paper towels, I'm gonna blow off everything up here. Wipe off my gasket areas.
They're not too dirty. 2018, so it ain't bad.
Dig out our oil-soaked paper towels here. Alright, well, I got 90% of it out of there. Let's say it's gonna look fairly decent. I'll pull these out. Alright, that's 98% of it, so I'm comfortable with that. Wipe off all your sealing surfaces for your gaskets. That one's got some coolant buildup on it or something. Get my old Milwaukee right angle buzz wheel down in there just to knock that off a little bit, or you could use some Scotch-Brite or something.
Just had it on that one. My hand was hitting my. Just had some gunk on that one water jacket. Gasket area.
Good as new. Alright, wipe off my gasket areas one more time. Okay, I can't really get down in there to get the transmission oil, the oil on top of the transmission soaked up. So I'm just going to cover up everything here under the intake. and blast it with some brake clean and some air. Now oil is running down from the top and from the front and the back of the transmission, running off the bottom. So I blew the oil out of that main hole there. And I'm filling her up with brake clean. Blow it out again. And we'll hit her one more time just for good measure. This brake clean will run down the transmission, kind of clean the sides up some too, and then I'll hit it from the bottom again when I'm done. You want to get that brake clean dried off of everything because you don't want it, puddles of it or something, sitting on plastic or something. So, alright, well, I feel good with the cleanliness of the top of the transmission. So now we will go on to get filter oil cooler housing set back in there. Here we have our new oil filter housing. We got our oil pressure sensor switched over. We got all our rubber O-rings down here looking good. Got an O-ring here, a little dielectric grease on that, just so she slides down in there good. Alright, now we just tighten up our E8s. Just run them down barely snug, you know. Get even pressure on everything at first. And go back over them. And with this gun, you know, I'm just going to barely hit them. And then I'll go back over it with the ratchet. Because I do not want to warp anything or break anything. I don't know what the torque is on these, but I'm sure it's not a lot. And if I have a tendency to do anything, it's over tightening. I remember, of course, I'm 45, so back when I was like 16, my dad and all my uncles, you know, all had garages and drag cars and sprint cars and everything. And my uncle, he actually had a shop, and I worked for him, you know, back when I was about 16. Boy, I was making $100 a week. Whoo! I thought I was the cat's meow, making that big money. But he would always get on to me for over tightening stuff. Of course, I've learned my lesson. Okay, so now we'll plug our sensor back in. Then we'll put our hose back on. All right, now we get our lower intake back on there. Got a little bug right there. A little dead bug.
Alright, the bug is gone.
We need to change our gaskets out first.
Got 6 lowers in here and 6 uppers.
So what gasket do you guys like using? Seems like around here they usually order Velcros, but what gasket do you guys prefer, if you do have a preference? And as with anything, always get your bolts started by hand first. That way you don't cross thread something.
You just start somewhere in the middle, work your way back and forth.
Not putting too much on one. And this is plastic, so I'm gonna put these the rest of the way down by hand.
Alright, now one more time, go over one more time.
Now we will pull out our upper gaskets and replace them. Alright, we're going to plug in our fuel line. And our blue clip that goes on there. We want to plug in all our injectors.
Make sure the foot down on that good. Your locks are engaged. A little pull test, make sure they don't come back up out there.
Now we had a couple wire holding clips back here. So my one thing that I can see having a problem with going back together is that one that I had problems with coming apart. Like I said, this is the first one I've done on a newer one, like 18. I don't know when they went to this design, but what can I do to not have this problem? So I remember I said that I thought I could just take out that one more 10 millimeter and not deal with this problem, that it would have slid up, this bracket would have slid up out of there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take that bracket off That way I can get this back in the intake before I put the intake back on. And now I know, since I did one, bracket off, there's 10. And I do remember I did drop the bolt. I don't want to drop this one. Get my magnet down there by it. Okay. And here is our bolt. That I want to, yeah, there's another one right there that I want to put back in right here. And that was like a E6 or something. Out there on Mechanics Road, hold on just a second. Got timing chain job on a Equinox for this weekend side work, so I gotta go put that somewhere real quick, come in on the tow truck. Okay, so this Equinox that I just went and got off the tow truck, I just found out that if you guys have seen the video of the welded on axle nut, the guy that did that did the timing chains on this vehicle. And now I found out they said it ran perfect, but this guy told him it needed timing chains. And now it's probably jump time, bent the valves. You know, it's a 2.4 Equinox, so it's an interference engine, so he's liable to need an engine or at least a head. Oh my goodness. And then Gary, my coworker, he told me another one, because he had this other car in here. I think it was a Ford Edge. He had it in here a few weeks ago, working on it for somebody, and side work. And he said that the same guy that welded that axle nut on there, and that tore up this timing chain, changed the condenser and the AC compressor, and broke the radiator and didn't tell the guy. So the guy drove it and blowed the head gaskets on the car. Oh my goodness. I don't understand. You know, take your stuff to an actual mechanic technician that at least knows what they're doing. Jeez. This guy, whoever he is, I don't know who he is, but he has cost these people a lot of money. And it's all the same family, basically, you know, cousins and friends of a family that recommended this guy. Whew. Boy, they gotta be mad at whoever recommended him. Alright, well, off of that rant, back to the task at hand. Okay, so let's see how this bracket works out for me. Really, I guess I should have, to do this easier, you should take off that vacuum pump, but it went right in though, so it went right on there, so no problem. Hose clamps on. Now, let's see, get that 10 back in there, that last one we just took out. Get my little 1/4-inch stubby, snap on. You know, I mean, I'll use any tool, but the reason I like Snap-on, and I know, and it's the same reason people like their Fords and Chevys, you know, or at least back in my day, growing up. If all your uncles and family drove Chevy trucks, you grew up to be a Chevy man. Well, my uncle, the only tool truck I ever seen come to his house, he had a garage before he had his big shop. He had a garage at his house that he worked out of, and the only truck I ever seen was a Snap-on truck. All his tools was Snap-on. His toolbox was Snap-on. So, and my uncle's been gone for, man, pushing 20 years. Let's see. Yeah, maybe 21 or something, 22 years. God bless him. So he died way too young. He was 43. But I was in that garage all the time. And so, just a little backstory. That's why I mainly like Snap-on. Of course, I have Mac, Gear Wrench, I have all kinds of, but this was his toolbox, not this Craftsman on the bottom, but the Snap-on here. This was his box. Got some pretty cool old stickers on there. Vintage stickers. What we got over here? This is me when I made it in our newsletter back 3 or 4 years ago. Employee of the month or whatever. And it says on there that, did you know that I have got the record for the most billable hours, and that was 94 hours in 1 week. And my second highest was 93 hours, like 93 and a half in 1 week. And back then, my average was 75 hours a week, every week. But we did work for, or we was basically the same company for a huge car lot, and we didn't do customer work back then. We was recon only. And they had 3 spots, and they sold 400 cars a month. And we did all the recon for those 400 cars a month. So there was so much work. I mean, you could go in the office and grab 10 at a time. There would be 100 in there, 100 cars that needed worked on, 70 to 100, all the time that needed worked on. You just go in there and grab 10 of them. And, you know, some days I would put 25 hours out in one day because all my, you know, I would have parts here for 20 cars. And there'd be little stuff you could just zip, zip, zip and get it done. I really miss those days. Really miss them. Now, a few months ago we was really slow. So I'm fortunate that I do have a 30-hour guarantee. So I'm very fortunate for that. But yeah, it was pretty scary. I thought we was going to close down after COVID because the big car lot shut down. So the dad owned the car lots and the son owns the mechanic shop. So now we do customer work and a lot of warranty work. So we're just getting built back up. Now, what I ain't gonna lie, what I do fear is, you know, they say we're going to have everybody's saying I mean, I guess we're already in a recession. Soft recession, they say. But, you know, they say next year we're going to be in a hard recession, you know, so I kind of worry about that a little bit. But really no sense worrying about tomorrow. Just live for today. Do what you can do. All right. Boy, that's the most rambling I think I've ever did on a video. So, enough of that rambling. Let's get this job done. So I'm just putting in my upper intake bolts. Just lightly tapping them down there with the impact. And this is all plastic still, so going over them with a hand ratchet. Make sure we don't break nothing. And maybe I am a little, no, I'm not too cautious. I was going to say maybe I'm a little too cautious with this stuff, but no, I'm not, because you can easily break this stuff. So I'll go over them. I'll spread out the pressure on all the bolts, go over them a few times. Don't tighten one down too tight first, you know. Now, let's hook up some of our, so I still have a 10 millimeter nut. I think I dropped that nut. Yeah, I did drop that nut yesterday. So I gotta get me a 10 millimeter nut. Get that on there. And this is going on that one stud that I fought with yesterday that I put back in a while ago. Oh yeah. Alright, so I got my two 10s in the bracket. I got that 10 millimeter nut on the bracket there. Now, we've got some wiring here. Hook up this, I know is a throttle body connector. And I know that goes there. Okay, plug that in. And now we have the air temperature sensor connector. We got one more here down. It goes to the sensor on the EGR cooler. Okay. Make sure we get this exactly like it came off. It goes there. Get that plugged in. And we have our little holder here. Okay, that part of it's all done. Okay, we have, okay, this goes right there. This goes on the valve cover, or well, basically the valve cover. Into the head there. Okay. Pop this in its place. Pop that onto the intake. Alright. Slide this down. Pop it on the evap valve there. That? Huh. I don't know. Let's put our clip back in there. Okie dokie. Put that back in. Yep. That goes underneath there. there. I'll plug it in. And we got a 10 millimeter bolt there, 10 millimeter bolt there, two 10 millimeter bolts there. Oh, look here. 7 to 9 Newton meters. Tells you right there. That's your torque specs for your intake. Okay. I'm going to use my magnetic socket here so I don't drop my bolt. Yep. Okay, and the other one, I remember I had to take out with a wrench. And you know, I can probably get it. Yeah, I can get that with the ratchet. I just couldn't get my Milwaukee in there. Okay. Now, what did I buy? Okay, look at that. I'll use this. I haven't used it yet. That's the one I bought the other day. To get the free hoodie, if you all seen that short. It's not a flex head though. It's kind of a flex head. It's a rotating head, but it's not a flex head. So, yep, not gonna work. Alright, I'll use my other snap-on 1/4 inch actual flex head. Alright, got them in there. Let's put our little air box back on. And we have a air temperature sensor there that we need to plug for. Right there's the plug. And get that plugged in. Get our wiring harness pop back on there on the side of the box. Make sure everything's always secure, just like we took it off. Okay, that part's on there. Slide that on the throttle body. Pop that down in there. Put our 10 millimeter in that. Now, I'm just gonna look over everything. Make sure. Always lay your eyes on it when your job's done. Try to lay your eyes on everything under there. Always try to lay your eyes on everything that you touched. Make sure everything's plugged in. All your bolts are in tight. Good practice. Help you from having comebacks. Alright, I believe everything is good to go. Get all my tools off the car. Now let's get our air dam, I guess you would call it. Back on here. And just pop down in there. Let's get our engine cover on. Yeah, see, I used that bolt, the black bolt that goes here, for the bolt to go in that bracket when I actually had dropped that. That's the bolt I had dropped. So the only thing about this job that is different than it was is the bolt that I'm going to put right here is not black. But hey, I can live with that. Alright, now we just have to fill it up with oil, fill it up with coolant, make sure the drain cockpit on the radiator is not leaking, because sometimes I have had them leak and have to replace the O-ring in there. So that's why I haven't put up the underpinning part yet, because I want to make sure that's not leaking at all. So we'll get the oil in it, coolant on it, in it, fire it up, check for leaks, get this baby out of here.
And we're waiting on one more quart. We only had 4 quarts left when we stopped.
I got my other quart of oil on it. Got my backfill on there to put my coolant in it. Make sure our oil level's right. Yep, we are quart low, so I got 5 in it. So, I need one more quart. Now my ticket said 5, but apparently it's 6. Just a dash. There we go. Okay, got my oil level where I want it, got my coolant level where I want it. Now we just gotta let it run. Make sure there ain't no leak. Okay, it's been running a while. No leaks. One final step. Alright, now I just gotta put the bolts back in that. Good to go. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great day.